So once you have your pattern pieces cut out, there are a few important things on the pattern pieces that we need to know about. The first thing to see is that the pattern pieces all have numbers on them. These numbers will correspond to the page number. The next thing to note is that there are targets on every page with letters and numbers on them. And we're going to use these targets to put the pages together. You will see the labels for each pattern piece, the pattern piece lines, the 1-inch test scale square, which we will look at in a moment, and then the dashed lines that we're going to use to put the pieces together. So the first thing we need to do is print off page 1 and check our test square. Now I'm going to use one of these measuring tapes. I like to go further into the measuring tape just because sometimes this metal piece makes it a little difficult to measure. So instead of starting at the 0, I'm going to go and start at the 10. 1 inch is one number, so from the 10 to 11 is 1 inch. I want to make sure that my square is 1 inch on one side and 1 inch on the other side. So to do this, I'm going to line up the line where the 10 is to one side of the square, and my 11 should be right at the other side of the square. So I have the 10 lined up and my 11 lines up correctly. So that means that side is 1 inch. Now I'm going to check the other side. So the 10 is at the top and the 11's right at the bottom. So that side is 1 inch. My 1 inch square is correct. Now I'm going to check the 1 centimeter square. My centimeters are on the other side of my measuring tape. I'm going to do the same thing and do 10 and 11. So the 10 lines up right on the one side of the 1 centimeter square, and my 11 ends right at the other side. So that side is 1 centimeter. I'm going to check up and down. My 10 is at the top, the 11's right at the bottom. So that is correct. Since I know that my square is 1 inch by 1 inch and 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, that means the scale is correct, and I can print off the rest of my pages, which I've already done here. So now we're going to take our pieces and we are going to glue or tape them together. For this, I'm going to use a glue stick, but you could use tape to put the pieces together as well. We're going to pay attention to the dotted lines as well as the targets. Now the targets have letters and numbers on them, and you want to start by taking page 1 and page 2. It's going to have A's and they're going to have different numbers. So page 1 has 1, page 2 has 2's on it. You're going to want all the A's to be first and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. I am going to take my glue stick and I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of the first page underneath the dotted line. I am then going to take page 2 and I'm going to line it up right against that dashed line. Your targets should overlap and your pages should line up against that dotted line. Once you do 1 and then 2, you're then going to take page 3 and do the same thing. So 1, 2, I'm going to put glue at the bottom of 2. I'm going to line up this target that says AA33 with the bottom target here, and this target that says AB33 with this target here, and line it right up against the dotted lines. One, two, three. Our next number is 4. We're going to put glue again on the very bottom. We have AA44 for that target, AB44 for this target. It's changing to B's on the right hand side because we're moving over in the pages in the grids. You will notice that my pages do cut off the bottom. Some printers will do that, so if you find that your printer is cutting it off, that's okay. You'll just keep an eye on that dotted line and put your page right up next to that dotted line. So you're going to go down the rows, and then once you get down to the end of your AA targets and your AB targets, you're then going to go to the pages that say AB on one side and BC on the other side, like these ones. For me, I'm going to have page 6, page 7, page 8, and page 9. So I'll show you that. When we glue the page that needs to go next to here, we're going to put our glue on the outside of that dashed dotted line like we did on the bottom. So I'm going to put a bunch of glue on that side. I'm going to take my number 6 page. I know that number 6 is the first one in this column because it's got the 1, 1 in the target, which means it's the first row. Then here, I have 2 places I need to glue. I'm going to glue beside this dashed line and on the bottom of this dashed line. Take page 7, and I'm going to line it up to both those dashed lines, making sure that those targets are right on top of each other. And as we are gluing these together, you see that the pattern piece forms. You're going to continue gluing all of your pattern pieces all together until it looks like the picture that's provided in the tutorial. So once you have all your pages taped together, you are going to cut out the pattern piece on the lines that are solid colored. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut those pieces now.